Man, so what is the deal with duck hunting in Nevada this year? It seems like it's so hard for just about anybody to find ducks. I'm even looking at posts on the Battleborn Duckers podcasts and some of their Facebook pages, and it just seems like nobody's having a ton of success this year in Nevada in general. But let's talk about Sunnyside since I just went there a few weeks ago, actually just last week as we're recording this video, and did some duck hunting. And we did get 2 ducks, which for me is not considered a successful trip. For some people that might be, but for me it's not necessarily. I'll go into where I did find ducks and what was successful, but with these bright sunny days, I don't see a lot of people having a ton of success on the water over the next few days, but there are going to be some spots that might help you a little bit better than others. So we'll kind of sort it out as far as some good duck hunting spots go, some techniques that actually might work for you, and then some other things that I might want to throw into the report just because I was out there and I saw them, and it's information that might help you. So the first thing is spots. Walking in, I don't necessarily recommend like jumping 100 birds where they're naturally trying to roost or nest at, but there are some good walk-in spots in the marshy areas where there's a little stream. So anywhere like between like Dacey, for example, and Adams McGill, there's a stream, and I wouldn't walk all the way to Adams McGill, even though there are a lot of ducks there, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But along that stream, there's some pools that kind of pool up in there, and sometimes you'll have a duck or two resting in there, and that's a great spot to jump shoot ducks because you're not going to be interrupting other hunters, as well as as long as you can stay quiet, you'll only be dropping about a couple at a time. So just keep that in mind, be safe out there, and if you're there in the evening, they will want to hang out there naturally, so you don't even have to call or anything like that. You can just go in with camouflage and they'll naturally kind of fly to you. Obviously standing, a lot of you guys, if you're watching this video, hopefully you know that standing on the dike at either Dacey, obviously not on the road, but a little bit off of the road in some of the bushes where you can be camouflaged is a successful strategy, as well as the dike over at Adams McGill. The reason why I don't mention the other dikes is honestly just because I wasn't there, so I can't say that they were successful or not. But when other hunters are pushing ducks around, the ducks will, what I've found is if there's people fishing on the dike, they will tend to fly to one side or the other, and they'll hug that tule line. So if you're in line with one of the tule lines on either side of the dike, and you're just hidden where the ducks can't see, they might fly low enough over you where you can get a couple of shots off. And that's where we found a little bit of our success was not right on the dike, but pretty darn close to it, and just sitting still and then having ducks fly nearby us. So where are the bulk of the ducks, and are there any mallards? There actually are a lot of ducks out there. When I was walking around, the reason why I recommended not walking all the way to Adams McGill is because I saw a ton of ducks on the water from, I'd say like, almost a half mile away. I could see them with my binoculars. And obviously if I would have walked closer to the water, they would have just spooked up and gone somewhere else. So that's not really a good idea or a successful strategy. However, I can tell you this much. If I was walking in to hunt, I would absolutely walk in before daylight, before they could see me, and I would definitely hang out in some of those areas because I know that as other hunters, work the edges, that they're eventually going to come to that spot, and I can be there hidden where they won't know where I am. So, and you can probably call them in a little bit with decoys, but you'd have to be walking in. There's a lot of ice out there, and so that's why some of the boating strategies is going to be a little bit more complicated. There is a lot of open water out on Dacey, so if you want to go out and either fish or even just hunt ducks, going out on a boat in Dacey is going to be a lot more successful than Adams McGill. My wife and I tried on our first day to go to Adams McGill, and there was just so much skim ice that we were just making way too much noise, and honestly we shouldn't have been there in the first place. That was just a mistake on our point. We learned from it. We're just going to go from Dacey from now on. So this late in the year, definitely just stick on Dacey. I'd imagine some of the northern ends where it gets a little bit shallow is going to be great for ducks, because whenever anybody was spooking a duck, that's where the ducks were coming from, and that's where they were flying back to just minutes later. A lot of the ducks were wheeling back around and flying back to the same spot where they were originally spooked from. So it's obvious that the ducks want to be there. If you got any questions, definitely give us a comment down in the comment section. We love making our fishing reports, and so we're trying to get into some of the other reports that we're also doing. So my wife and I do big game hunting, duck hunting, We do a lot of fishing here in Nevada, and so we just kind of want to bring you these reports and make sure that they add some value. So if you like them, definitely give us a thumbs up, and we're going to be talking about our fishing success in our next video. So make sure you stick around and subscribe to watch that one. Thanks. Bye.